You're listening to Mammal After Dark, the Madcast.
And welcome to another episode of Mammal After Dark. This is the Dark Mammal speaking, and tonight with us we got Matthew Reynolds as the Ether Otter, and I also have the Rabbit Wombat. Stephen J. G-Wade.
So it is.
And I also have the Derivative.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's just hilarious in that voice. You could be talking about the Holocaust, and I'm going to laugh because that's just in that voice, man. It's just hilarious. Like I can't get over
so many dead Jews. So many dead Jews.
Oh God! How many dead Jews? Oh, you bastard! My grandparents were there. Oh God!
You're not a war veteran. Sound like a deserter to me. All right, what'd it be like, everybody?
Not bad. It'd be like
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Oh, you
Thanks
are
for asking.
Oh, hey, Juice. How was your day?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty
I
good.
sat here, did nothing all day.
Oh, man.
Pretty unconstructive.
Second times. Yeah, well, I moved to a new place. I finally got situated. I'm still going back and forth like crazy, getting these boxes in and out. So I got to go inside this like garage that's like super overheated, and it's not just like a regular garage that's on the side of a house. This is a building out on its own that is like huge. You could put a rig in there without the trailer. That's how big this garage is, and it's just
Garage or a barn?
We don't have barns out here. This ain't North New York. We got ranchos. Lots of desert rancho space. But, yeah, so I've been going in and out, getting all this stuff, and, like, I looked through every damn box for this microphone, and I could not find it. Finally, I opened up this box. There was another box inside at the very bottom, like, and there was a whole bunch of shoes on top of it. So I took off all the shoes. I found the little box, and then I opened it, and there they were inside the little box. And I had forgotten I made like an emergency tiny box for everything on my desk, because everything's on your desk is like all small. So I didn't want to put everything in a big box. What do you do with all the small stuff, you know? Like your thumbtacks and your cock rings and your, you know, glasses and stuff. So I made a little box and threw everything in there. Little skulls, you know, just little tiny things you get.
And you put shoes on top of them. That's the only logical thing to do.
Oh, of course. To help me remember.
Yeah. So you can bring all of your shoes and your glasses.
I was packing quick. I wanted to get out of there. So now I have Aster and Steve. I don't know if this guy is ever going to tell me to get out. So
If not, I will.
yeah. So tonight's discussion was very interesting. I thought it was a pretty interesting one. I've been having some pretty crazy ones. I think we're going to be talking about dreams tonight.
Ah.
Yeah, see? Notice how nobody else was surprised? Everybody pretty much knew about the topic except for you. So, you guys could act surprised if you want.
Oh, wow.
God, wow.
What a good topic. I could talk for a whole hour just about that.
So, I'm gonna start just to, because I got a dreams. I just don't remember them all. But one of them is French kissing Matt on the Riviera. So,
Oh boy.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
Let's do that. Oh yeah, I was supposed to tell Steve that I had a dream about his feet.
Lovely.
They were beautiful.
Yeah, they were glowing. Like I had died, and they were like glowing and stuff. He came to get me, but you know, like your whole body glows when you're dead, and an angel comes for you. Just his feet were glowing. They were.
He had some squeezable jelly and was squeezing them all over your toes and eating it off of them.
Whatever works.
All right, but I had a crappy dream not too long ago. My grandma passed away last year, and she never really liked me. Like when we were growing up, it was just like me and my two other brothers before the other three were born, and she you can obviously tell that she loved them a lot, but me, she would just like scoot over to the side, and I know that feeling because my brother has 3 kids and one of them just is intolerable, and I'm pretty sure I was that kid. So she would always push me over to the side. So last night I had that dream, but I was older. I went to go visit her, and I was waiting for her to feed me. Like they gave me something to eat, but she would never feed me. Like the lunchtime already passed and no breakfast, no lunch, and she was just sitting there.
I don't know why I'm picturing you in a diaper right now, sitting there in a high chair just waiting to be fed.
Oh, that's sad. No, that never happened. No, I was older, and I was wearing a diaper. Bastard.
That's actually what I was saying, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, with a bald head and a mustache. Feed me, Juanita, feed me. Yeah, but no, I was just waiting, and I was all sad. And then after waiting for her to feed me, I said screw it and decided to wait on my mom to come pick me up instead. And then when I woke up, I realized that that's pretty much how it was when I was at my grandma's. It was just like that. It was just like ultimate neglect. And then I would always wait for my mom to come pick me up. So that was kind of crappy. But anyways, that's a good way to start it. So what's going on? Tell me about your guys' dreams. Who wants to go?
I had one earlier this week that just fucked my entire day up.
Oh, yeah.
It just... You ever have one of those where you wake up and you swear to God it was real? Like, I mean, you lived an entire life and you wake up and it's just this shit all over again.
What? I've never had the whole entire life dream.
No, never had anything that was like over a prolonged period of time at all.
I've had dreams that were connected and it had a beginning and an end, but I don't remember those.
Yeah, mine are all like only bad acid trips.
I have a lot of zombie dreams.
I thought you said
yeah, I've had a couple of those.
badass trips.
Yeah. It's like
Well,
a cliche zombie movie. But this one, it just fucked me up all day. Just you met somebody, got married, grew old. There was like a lot of shit that happened in between that and when I actually woke up. And it was so vivid at the time for like most of the day. I just couldn't get shit out of my head, and I was just all fucked up all afternoon. It was awful. But I don't really remember anything about it anymore, so everything's good now. I'm all settled back into the shithole.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Should have wrote it down, because I've had dreams that have fucked me up during the day, but they were like about ex-girlfriends and stuff like that.
Well, even when I woke up, it wasn't like, I couldn't remember every little detail. It was just kind of like there was a remaining aura of the people that you met during that time period.
Yeah. And I was nowhere in that dream.
Probably not, actually.
Damn. Well, if it was going to be...
I don't even think it was, I couldn't even guarantee it was me.
Well, if it was a dream about a perfect life, then yeah, I probably wasn't in it. Who wants to go next?
I'll go, I guess. Let's see. Well, I guess when I was... This was shortly after my little brother passed. It wasn't a couple of weeks, but I mean, I obviously didn't get a chance to say goodbye, But it's just a brief nothing was really said anyway. We were just kind of, it was pretty vivid dream too. We were all, families all sitting around the dinner table, just bullshitting, just, eating dinner. And obviously he wasn't there, but all of a sudden he come running up the back steps and just stopped at the door and, just kind of looked in, nodded his head, just as to say, yeah, I'm good. Peace out. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, I remember having a dream, something like that when my dad passed away. Was working on the house, but he had already passed away, it's already been 3-4 years since he passed away. But as I'm working on the house, I fall asleep, and then I have this dream that he doesn't really come into the room. He kind of just opens the door, and he's asking me where the extension cord is, because he was going to work on something that I had been working on previously. And I told him, and then I got happy because he was going to help me with the project that I was working on, And there's nothing cooler than working on a project with your dad,
Yeah.
Especially if he's working on something manly like a hot rod or a car or something like that, or working on carpentry. And then you're all like, yeah, show me the way, master. He always wanted to show you something that you never knew or something like that,
Yeah.
What about you, Wombat? What you got?
It depends. I've been having nightmares since I was 5, and I can pretty much remember every one. It's a horrible story that you can't forget. I've also started going to, I haven't started yet, but I got 2 years after the fact, I got into the administration healthcare system, so I could talk to somebody or whatever, get some counseling, and I start Monday. My first 2 years later, I finally got in, and I get to start talking to them about them. They can maybe prescribe me some medication or whatever, but mine are usually post-apocalyptic hell, and it's not ever the same one twice. I have had visits with my dad, and visits with people that are no longer here. One time, he wasn't there for very long. They're horrible dreams. I usually wake up screaming, and it's not pleasant for anybody around me either, but I have to, it's never all bad. There's always little weird shit that's kind of sandwiched in between it. For example, in between, in a post-apocalyptic hell where you're on Earth, where we're all still here for some reason, and you're fighting for everything, and there's military overtones and stuff like that, but somehow there'll just be a weird cog that's kind of thrown into the machine that really makes it make less sense than it should. I had a dream recently where, it's the same thing, post-apocalyptic hell, fighting for your life, blah, blah, blah. But then sandwiched in between it, I run into Odorous Orungus from Guar. And,
Awesome.
well, the problem was
I would be loving this dream right now.
well, we just said we didn't have a lot of time, but we did have a little bit, and I don't know where we were, but we just kind of ran into each other and just sat down and started talking, and it was like all the stuff that they talk about and all the stuff they sing about was for real. They did come from another planet and they were jettisoned here, but it wasn't because they were too weird. It was because they weren't weird enough. So they didn't make the cut on their home planet. Do you know what I mean? They had the
king of that planet.
They had to come here because they weren't weird enough. They weren't strange enough compared to the rest of the people there. And I was just well, is there any way to get back there? Because I kind of want to go visit, at least on a vacation somewhere. And he's just trust me, you don't want to be there. You guys got it better here. And then he's wait a minute, get out of my face, human. And then he started being all condescending and stuff they normally when they do interviews and stuff like that. But I don't know. And then if my dad visits, there was a time where same thing. We're all in some kind of warehouse and hiding from whatever's going on outside, and he just pops his head in for a minute and goes, he just looks at me and goes, "You're not ready yet," and then he leaves. And who knows what that stuff's supposed to really mean? But sometimes it's a very calming presence. Other time it's real disturbing when you wake up and can't forget it. But it's the weird stuff like that. I don't know. That really throws it all for a loop because I can't make heads or tails out of it usually.
I mean, are dreams even meant to be understood?
Messages? No. Sometimes. I mean,
you just gotta go with it and have fun with them.
Yeah, but at the same time, for someone for people that have PTSD or any kind of trauma in their life and they can't forget their dreams, there's times where I wake up and I can't tell if I'm sleeping still or if I'm still awake. And during that brief moment, you're just crap, and you might want to get up and check the doors or things like that, where a normal person would wake up from a dream and be like, "Geez, I don't even remember what that was about." I wish I had that.
I actually suffer from sleep paralysis every once in a while, which is absolutely fucking horrifying.
What is sleep paralysis?
It's where it's like you wake up, but your body doesn't. It's like you're conscious while you're asleep.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Okay.
Heard of that.
And you kind of feel like you're floating outside of your body and you can't really do anything. You can't move on your own. And I've actually had to try to like shake myself. I'll sit there, I can't move. I'll have to shake myself to make myself move to try to actually wake the rest of me up. And most people, what do they call it? I think the Irish called it like the White Witch. It's just like well, it's just like what people used to describe the feeling as, because sometimes it will almost always feel like there's somebody else in the room with you that you can't really see. It just, you feel it there, and that's what gives you that sense of panic that makes you want to wake your body back up, or wake your body up to go along with you. And it's very, very, very unnerving. I mean, I've gotten used to it because I can recognize it now, and I just kind of slowly wake myself up. But the first few times, that was actually after I read up on it and figured out what it was, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, so I'm not the only one.
Kind of like, I can relate a similar story. I think when I was a kid and I had nightmares, it was like imagine like you're going down a hall and you're getting sucked into the room at the end of the hall, but there's all kinds of rooms on your left and your right that you kind of want to at least hang on to the door handle or something so you're not getting pulled in. Well, when I was a kid, I couldn't help it. I was just getting sucked into whatever was at the end of the hall through the door or whatever. Well, as I got older and I became more like, I don't know, attuned to it all, then I could turn my head and interact, and now it's like I'm usually fully conscious and I know what's going on, and I make like conscious decisions in an unconscious world, and it's a different experience. It's not always better, but you at least feel a little bit more in control, even though the events usually surrounding the dream are, any human's control. But like, it's nice.
Just reminds me of Dream Warriors from the Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where all the impatient kids had like different abilities in the movie.
Yes.
Like the kid in the wheelchair was like a magician or some crap like that.
Yeah, he can walk.
Yeah. And the drug addict was all badass punk.
That's kind of weird though, because last time I think we were talking about shadow people for a little bit, and my older brother, he suffered from sleep paralysis, but at the same time, when he was waking up, he would always see this figure rise up from the bottom of his bed to pretty high length, maybe about 7 feet.
Yeah.
It was wearing like a Freddy Krueger hat and everything, but it looked like it was wearing an overcoat too.
Well, that's that whole white witch thing that I was, that presence that you feel. Your mind will make that into anything that, it wants to at the time.
But he would always see those black images all over the place, like those black everywhere.
You feel stuff. You feel and see shit in the shadows. It's the most insane feeling that you can ever have. I mean, I would put it next to like the
taking mushrooms.
No, not mushrooms. More like salvia.
Whoa, that's intense right there.
Yeah, it has that feeling like when the salvia is starting to take effect, when it's like when I took it, I was getting pushed down like gravity was fighting against me. It was a weird fucking feeling, but it felt like the sleep paralysis.
I think they're definitely, dreams have to, if they're not messages, and perhaps they're like bridges to places that you can't get with your conscious mind, and there's, not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it's unnerving at times, you know what I mean? Especially for people that can't control it. I don't know, I pity them in a lot of ways. Not that I ever want to go back to not being in control, not being able to walk where I want to walk in a dream, or say what I want to say, or do what I want to do, but I don't know. There's so many mornings I've woken up and wished I couldn't remember. I wish I didn't have the memories of what I did, and it sucks.
Do you smoke? You smoke weed?
No.
But you do mushrooms from time to time, you said, right?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, honestly,
let's say
and
hypothetically
I'm being dead fucking serious here. Marijuana will get rid of your dream problem.
Give me a second.
Hey, go ahead.
Because, should we wait for him?
So could conventional medicine, though. I mean, it just depends. And the conventional medicine.
Wait, let's wait for him to get back. Just wait for him to get back.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back. But, well, yeah, like I was saying, you
I have to edit that out.
But, go ahead. You were about to say something.
Nothing. I'm just saying that conventional medicine could probably do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but I personally, with conventional medicine, I would take the marijuana just because it's more natural
It's cheaper.
than
I'm sure.
our chemical, than man-made chemical drugs, and yeah, it's probably cheaper. But it actually
If I had a
naturally,
prescription for it, that'd be great.
marijuana actually naturally blocks REM sleep, which is the dream state.
I don't know. I've never had a problem in that
Really?
state. Dreaming.
Really? Because I do not dream if I go to bed high.
I do it because it's just more paranoid, like, or more, that element's added to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think physiologically it depends on the person. Like what works for you probably doesn't work for me, and vice versa. Because
that's true.
I mean, that's the reason people have certain vices and others don't. That's the reason why some people can never get off like crack or cocaine, because that's physically that's their.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, sure is. But I mean, like some people prefer uppers, some prefer downers, some people like to smoke, some people like to do mushrooms. It just depends, really.
What do you think about peyote? I mean, I know none of us have ever done it, but
Isn't
do you
peyote
think
a form of cocaine?
No.
I don't know what it is exactly, but from what I hear people go into a lucid dreaming state, which I've always been interested in.
Yeah,
Be
it's
nice
a
to-
hallucinogen.
Yeah, it'd be kind of to float around. That's exactly what I kind of think these hallucinogens are. They kind of open up the barrier between the dream state and the non-dream state, and it collides the two together, so you're having waking dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, it takes you to a different part of your brain that you're not used to using as well. And what do they say? Like we don't use 80%. If you could tap into any of that in any way, like it's got to make you better somehow.
Actually, I think we only use 15%. It's a really low number that we actually use, from what I understand.
Matt, how much percentage
it's
of
nowhere near 80?
How much percent do I use?
Yeah,
maybe
Probably about 3.
Don't use.
After all that fucking acid I took in the army, yeah, probably about 3.
Jesus.
And Jesus, dude.
Some brains all Swiss cheese, holes burnt through it.
Yeah, I get a bad habit of I enjoy watching horror movies right before I go to sleep, and
I do that all the time.
sometimes it really fucks me up because honestly, I think that obviously I still have some traces of that fucking acid in my system. I'll go to bed and an hour later I wake up and like fucking looking for somebody with a chainsaw or a fucking zombie or what the fuck ever. I'm like, good God. And take about 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. Go back to bed, you dumb fuck.
The moment I landed in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, what was it?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. To the time I got to your house, derivative, life was a dream all the way through. It was floaty, drugged up state of euphoria the whole time, and it started out insane. It's out.
We drove from my house right outside of Philly.
Well, let me tell him the story. Let me tell him the story from the very beginning of my trip. When I got there, I was like,
Now, do you mean trip isn't like the trip or the trip?
You can say it.
That came later.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can say it either way. Okay, so by the time I got to Philadelphia, I was lost already. Where am I? And when you're in a dream, you're kind of lost anyways, right? So I was like, where is this place? Where do I go? Follow the signs. I hope I know what Matt looks like. Because it's been a long time. And so everywhere I went was the right place. And as soon as I saw Matt, I knew him instantly. And it was awesome. So we took off in his car and we're talking. And as we're talking, this giant ass floats right by us. Huge.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It was the biggest booty I've ever seen on a motorcycle.
Is this chick just flew by us, but her, or was she riding on the back? Or
she was riding on the back and she was holding on to the guy.
Yeah, but her ass was
an
just
actual
big and
derriere.
plump.
Yeah.
So,
Her
okay,
booty
'cause
was
I was picturing like, a giant billboard type thing going by.
No,
No, it was
a real.
motorcycle just come zooming by us, and it just looked like his ass floating right in front of us.
You couldn't even see the motorcycle. You just saw the
No.
ass. And we were caught in mid sentence too. We were talking. We were like blah 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 blah.
Blah.
And we looked at each other. Did you see that? It's a big giant ass. And then, like a few minutes later, Matt just throws a finger up in the air for no reason. I'm not used to that. I'm from Texas. We wave.
Yeah, I flip everybody off.
We give him a peace sign, and I looked at him and I go, did you just flip that person off? He goes, yeah, he cut me off. Fuck him. I'm like, Jack. Thought we were gonna die. And then some lady flipped us off, and they were racing each other, trying to flip each other off harder than the last person. It's like, what's up with this place? So,
It's New Jersey.
all right, so we end up in Jersey. We go from Philly and we end up in Jersey. What was the name of the town? Well, don't worry about it.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't want you to have fans stalking you, whatever. But we were
Glassboro.
You're like, yeah, I want fans stalking me. But we got to Matt's house and I was completely oblivious. It was like, what was it, Labor Day weekend or something like that?
Memorial Day? Labor Day? Memorial Day?
One of those.
Whichever one.
It was Mammal Day. And so the whole family tells me this whole story about, yeah, you're going to want to take that one that goes through Pennsylvania and then goes north and then you'll hit New York.
They said you didn't want to head up the coast because you wanted to head west to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all telling me this. You don't want to go north. They were all convincing too. Like, yeah, you don't want to go up there because the traffic will be crazy. It's better if y'all go west. And then Matt was like, okay, we'll go west. Like, it was their idea. And I was like, yeah, let's go west. Pennsylvania rules. And $35 later, and what was that guy from? What was that guy? Sling Blade.
Yes, guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the GPS guy had a voice Sling Blade, and he was telling us where to go, and that was awesome. But that was just amazing. That was crazy. Like I'm already freaking out, Like what the hell? I'm flying through Pennsylvania and listening to this guy going, turn right about at the fate.
I reckon
you turn left here. Like,
yeah, our GPS had a
funny, and I'm videotaping things because I'm seeing things I've never seen before, like these mountains that were blown through, and they got these tunnels going through them, and all these crazy lights just everywhere, and it's like I had to film all that stuff, and so I got to take a poop like all the time, and Matt's telling me, why don't you poop at this hotel? And we were in Pittsburgh, and I'm like, nigga, you can't poop at a hotel. What's wrong with you? There's a convenience store right up ahead. So I pulled up there.
Wait. Hold on. You'd better poop at a convenience store than at a hotel?
Where am I going to poop at the hotel? Don't I gotta get a room?
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were going to stay at the hotel.
No.
I thought maybe you just had like a...
Oh, trust me, I'd be pooping at the hotel in style with a book instead of putting little layers of toilet paper on the book. I even put a layer of toilet paper so my dong doesn't touch that thing.
I don't have to. My shit's so small. I don't have to worry about touching the seat.
It's so small, it comes out my ass.
Well, go ahead, proceed, Joe. All
right, so your turn to tell your side of the story, because that's as far as I'm going. Because I was taking a poop right there, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay. So anyway, this is when we're getting into Pittsburgh after God knows how many hours. So we get into Pittsburgh, and I had to, as soon as we stopped at the convenience store, I had to I had to call Steve, say, hey, Joe's in sight. We were right up the street from we were supposed to meet him at this hotel. We kind of had the whole thing planned out. We're going to meet him at the hotel, and then, they're going to get out and, surprise him and shit. So he goes in, we're at the convenience store. So they pull up next to me while Joe's still inside. And then he comes trotting out.
Trotting?
Yeah. I'm walking. I don't know. Sorry.
Trotting.
All right. I'm sorry. You're not the worst. I'm sorry, you're not, what the fuck's her name? Sarah Jessica Parker? Yeah. But, go ahead.
I was skipping out. I was more like skipping.
Yeah, he was more like skipping. He just took a dump, so he was skipping. He lost a little bit of weight.
I was pretty light. I was light on my feet.
But, so we, pull up there, and, Joe comes out, and there you go, Joe, take it away.
And I'm sitting in the car, and I'm like, what the fuck are we waiting for? Matt's all playing with his GPS, and then all of a sudden I see some dark shadow come from behind me and feel some presence of evil. And I'm like, I turn around slowly, and it's the Wombat, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like freaking the fuck out. And then I turned, and there was a stabbing elephant. His, who is he? Your cousin or something like that?
Yeah.
It was on the other side, and I remember him from when he went to my apartment. And I was just like flipping out. I didn't know what was happening. All right, Steve.
So what we had planned originally was for us to meet at this hotel, but we didn't. We just knew it was halfway in between where we wanted to be and close to where the concert was. So we decided to meet there, but we never looked it up online, and we probably should have, because it looked like a set of barracks. Like, it was trashy. I don't think I would have shit in that place. I think you took a step up by shitting in the gas station there, but
shit, wherever I gotta shit, man's gotta do it.
The whole plan was to, like, a lot of times I had been to Rusted Root Campus before in my life, and I would always call the Mammal during the Send Me On My Way song and let them do it on the phone while I was there and stuff. And they don't usually play that far down south, so we kind of came up with the idea that, like, hey, he hasn't been here in a few years. Let's surprise him and take him to this concert. So after we got together at the gas station, I hopped in the car and we drove to Hartwood Acres to see Rusted Root together. And it poured the whole day, but it was still a good show. And they made a DVD that day, and hopefully we're going to be on it.
Yes, we can look for that shit. I forgot about that.
And then the whole time that Rusted Root is playing, I keep trying to circle game this cop that's running back the whole time. And then there was this, like, really, I don't know, this guy was messed up on LSD or something, but he was leaning on Matt. And
that guy. Okay.
Yeah, he was leaning on Matt, and I stuck my hand between him and Matt and, like, barely pushed him. The dude flew.
Yeah.
That dude went
fuck up on something.
That dude went far, far away. That was awesome.
You lost your video though. We had a small clip of a video where Joe was beating the crap out of Barney.
Oh, and I lost that video.
We lost it.
I don't know where it was.
We spent all day filming Hula Hoop Girls, and we missed like a whole ton of the show.
Yeah.
And then I filmed that guy that was on the keyboard dancing all stupid.
Oh yeah, he was awful. That band was terrible. I couldn't wait for
band,
that.
Yeah.
I show people that video of him dancing all crazy. They're like, oh my god! But then they're like everybody from Texas, like, sees those videos and they see the type of people that go to Rusted Root concerts, and they're like, what kind of people are those? And I'm like, they're hippies. They're like, that's what hippies look like. They look so trashy. Like, none of them take showers. It's like, that's why they go to these shows, because it rains, and that's how they shower. Like, we were like the most out of place people there, man. We might as well be wearing business suits.
Yeah, let me tell you, that was one long fucking day. It was awesome. Very awesome day. It was just long.
And it was like a dream, and then we headed back, and
then you fell through my porch.
I fell through your porch. How did that happen? Oh, yeah. I fell through the derivatives porch. Boy, I felt fat that day.
That's probably from all the fat pills you had here.
Oh my God. And the chicken. Oh, and then check this out. Check this out, derivative. So we end up at Steve's place, and then the first Tuesday or whatever, we go to the all you can eat chicken wings for how much?
$4.
For like $4. And his friend shows up, and I don't know any of these people that are there, so I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll try to be friendly and get to know them. And this lady is just being flat out rude and mean and yelling, and I don't even know, and she causes problems and everything. So she goes up to Steve, so her husband or whoever that guy is goes up to Steve and hands him a bottle of stuff. Because
it was his apology to us.
yeah, it was his apology to us. So like the whole week, I am fucked. I'm fucked young. Oh, and then we ended up at the in Niagara Falls, and
Niagara Falls.
I shouldn't
Spit
have
on
taken.
Canada.
I should have not taken those pills, because when we got there, I was gone. It was like, and then they tell me, "Hey Joe, you're in Canada now." Spit in Canada. I don't even know why I did that. I just wanted to spit in Canada. I thought it was funny. A Mexican.
Mexican spitting in Canada.
Yeah, it would be even funnier if a Canadian was spitting in Mexico. It's all like, they probably do when they go to Cancun. They all swallow that water. It's all peed in. But the whole time it was like a dream. So that's why I told you this, because it kind of, it was, sometimes.
It was good though.
Are you kidding me? The food was good. Oh, I got to talk about Bozana's again. Everybody go eat at Bozana's.
Oh, hell yeah.
Rick, trust me. YouTube it. Look it up on the internet. But it's not going to be the same until you go there. Oh, and another place we also recommend, hopefully we'll get money for saying this later on, is Monterrey's. Monterey.
Absolutely.
The Texas fajitas. Get them.
No onions.
Extra onions.
Stick your feet all up in there.
This episode of Mammal After Dark was brought to you by Mexicans.
Don't forget that, the little Mexican music right there. Hi. Yeah, so that was, and then, oh man, we had so much fun there. 4x4, not 4x4, the ATVs.
Oh,
yeah.
And we had the races, and then we had Melanie night, where we went to go hang out with Mel and the guy that...
And you circle game the stranger?
Yeah, circle game with stranger.
Oh,
and then
his day.
Oh, so this was fun. This was funny. I'll tell that circle game in a minute, but this circle game was better than any circle game ever. The whole time Matt's sitting on the passenger side, right? And he's just trying to circle game everybody that drives next to him. I'm like, Matt, you can't just throw it out there. You got to make eye contact first and then throw it out. And then I showed him a couple of times, and people look at me, and I would do it. I go, see, that's how you do it. And then so Matt was like, he was still being a rebel, and he was still trying to circle game everybody he saw. And I was like, I'll just let him. It's never gonna work.
It's my equivalent of giving people the finger.
So then one day, this big giant truck with this big giant redneck dude inside it, he circle games him. I'm like, oh no. And he gets him, and the guy makes a face. And I'm like, yeah, man, you got him. We're all celebrating. And it was like the most glorious event ever of all time, because Matt finally got somebody after his hard, arduous work of just circle gaming everybody. And a few minutes later, that truck pulls out to the sidewalk and drives right next to us. And he sticks his hand out and he circle games everybody. He didn't just circle game us, he circle gamed the entire traffic that was headed that direction. Everybody.
Have you guys ever thought of putting up the circle game on the YouTube channel?
And get everybody that way? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Just zoom in. When we're together,
Do
one day
it via the internet. Just put it up there.
Start out a little dark, and then, have a little light, so you can hardly make it out, and then...
Put false tags on it.
Just
so
put something else on there, like put something that people would be interested in, but like when you edit it, every 10 seconds, just flash the circle
like
hand.
My Little Pony porn.
Yeah, like have a hand coming out of the vagina doing the circle game. Jesus.
Somebody got me the other day with on YouTube, because it says it was early morning. I just wanted to listen to some Slayer, so I threw some Raining Blood live on there, and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Danzig. So like I watched the one YouTube video where Danzig gets knocked out by that guy, and then I was like, and then I click on it. Always is like the auto suggest for other things you want to watch, and there was auto-suggestion that I should watch Danzig profess his love for Jesus Christ. I'm like, really? I thought he was all into the demon. Like, I'll click on that. So I click on it. It's the starting part of this interview. It goes for like a full minute, and then they cut into some horrible music. It's like Justin Bieber or something. I'm like, oh, you bastards. Totally got me.
That's funny. That's like a circle game all its own.
I know.
Hey, that's how we could do the circle game. We can like play some decent music, and then we'll play some Justin Bieber and put the hand there. People will associate Justin Bieber with the circle game.
You'll have to have a picture of Justin Bieber with that circle hand on his shirt.
I think it's better to cut in, like, how they flash like subliminal messages and stuff in old movies?
Yeah.
Just flash like the circle hand.
Oh, we could do that.
Like 30 seconds.
We could do
just
that
flash.
on the YouTube cast of the
Mammal After Dark.
of the pod, yeah.
Like the bats.
No, but I mean just have it flash really quick. In how it's all steady, solid shit as the.
Don't tell nobody. You've said too much.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Now you have to kill me.
When we get sponsorship, I think we should have the bat signal, but it'll be the circle hand.
Yeah. Yeah, Mammal After Dark.
Everybody's going to look up at it, and we'll get like entire cities instead of just one or two people. Like,
oh, that's the goal. Nefarious plan, Mr. Wombat.
The whole podcast is just to get people to circle game.
Hello, Grandma. Can I help you with the groceries? Bam! What's this? You want me to buy Girl Scout cookies? Bam! Here, Lou Ferrigno, can I have your autograph? Bam! So many ways you can use that.
I wonder if it means anything in sign language, because when that girl, when she asked us, do you know what that means outside of Nietzsche's that night? I thought she was going to bust out with some real good knowledge. Like, I didn't know what it really meant all this time.
Yeah.
I thought she was like,
it looks like the okay. Okay. Like upside
I'm pretty
down.
sure it would be offensive in those countries where everybody gets up in your face and stuff. Like the Middle Eastern countries. You show them your foot, and then they do the circle game.
My buddy John does that. Not the circle game, but instead he points to something with the middle finger. And then once people realize that, he's like, fuck
I got you. Give me a beer.
I usually do that in pictures. Like, if people aren't paying attention, I'll creep it forward a little bit, so there's always like a middle finger.
That's awesome. Did we get back on dreams, or are we gone?
Wait, you mean we're not dreaming right now?
No. No, we're talking about the circle game plans.
Just an episode of Lost.
But we can wrap it up with another topic, or we can go back to dreams.
Go back to dreams.
Okay,
right.
I got a question then to propose to the group, and I don't know if you guys remember your dreams fairly well. Is that fair to say or no?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I was just writing a list down of a lot of dreams that I was remembering as you guys were talking.
All right, well, I got a question then. If you remember, who was the first person or celebrity you had a wet dream about?
Katie Holmes.
Seriously, that recent? That's the first one ever?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Katie Holmes eating her out.
Nice.
All like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Fucking A, Beetlejuice.
This was young Katie Holmes, though, like in that Dawson's Creek. Yeah.
167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I say it.
He's a fucking model. They're doing a sequel.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they are.
Fuck.
At least it's
Fuck
not
you,
a remake.
Hollywood.
What about you, Steve?
Hollywood.
The first celebrity, or the first celebrity I remember was Carol
Dolph
Brady.
Lundgren.
No,
Carol Brady.
it was Mrs. Brady.
Wow. What'd you do to her?
The entire time she's like,
What do you
Marsha.
No, but they were watching.
Wow.
What?
They were, man.
What about the brothers?
No, they were busy with 3 boys of their own.
Allison's downstairs making sandwiches for you.
Did Matt already say who? Matt?
No, I was trying to think. I like I said, dude, my memory's so fried.
Mr. T?
You have to give me a minute.
Well, to be fair, you can substitute an acid trip for a dream.
Yeah. I don't think he had sex with
for pretty much anything.
I'm.
He doesn't even remember his acid trips.
Oh no, I remember. Yeah, I remember some of them. No, I'm still trying to think of who I might have, celebrity wet dream and about.
It doesn't have to be the first. I guess it could be any.
Maybe the last one I can remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, what was his name?
Peter North.
Did he hit the ceiling?
Yes.
What was the donkey's name? Was it Donkey? Cartoons. You guys ever have any dreams about sleeping with cartoon women?
Yes, Jessica Rabbit.
And
Betty Rubble.
Yeah, Jessica Rabbit. I don't even think it has to be a dream.
Toes. Sorry.
Oh, man.
So I always got to bring up feet, man. What's wrong with you people? Every time.
I didn't do it this time.
I know.
You're gonna forget about it. We're gonna go a long time without saying it, and then bam! It's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be our symbol, the foot, the mighty foot.
The bottom of your feet to insult all the
Everybody.
Easterners.
Not only will it be an insult in the Eastern, it'll be an insult in America too.
His least favorite game on the Sega Genesis was Toe Jam and
We all got put there. Okay, so when you were talking about apocalyptic dreams, I remember 3 of my apocalyptic dreams. One of the dreams was my hometown being destroyed by Apache helicopters, and I was maybe about 3 miles away from the town, so I could see it all. And I was under a bridge, and I was hiding, and I was scared. And so these Apache helicopters, not only were they just bombing the crap out of it, they were also dropping napalm. I'm pretty sure that's not how they dropped napalm, but those choppers were doing it. There was like maybe 3 of them. One of them ended up landing in front of me at a pretty close distance, and I was just sitting there waiting for the right moment, and the door opened, and as the door opened, I rushed the guy and slammed into him, and he slammed into the door and fell on the ground. I just stomped the shit out of him until he was dead. And then I got in the chopper, and I didn't know how to fly it, and so I got out and just, I don't know, I think that was kind of like the end of the dream. Another one I had was also apocalyptic. It was in the zombie holocaust. It was already happening. And I would imagine that if the zombie holocaust really does happen, it's only going to be for a few days, that it's going to be really, really intense. And then after that, it's just going to be like miniature battles depending on where you go and the intensity and all that. I mean, there are...
It always kind of ends up being... That's why every good zombie movie is more about the interaction of the people, because that's what it's going to boil down to in the end game of it all.
Well, that's going to have to be like a whole discussion, like a whole psychological discussion about living in that.
Yeah, we could talk about zombies next week. That's fine. I have a very broad knowledge.
I know you do. You're like the zombie expert. But all right, so the zombie holocaust was like right in the and bloom, just like exploding. It was already exploded, and it was nighttime, and I was hiding behind this cubicle in this office, and I could hear them behind me just scraping around and shuffling through, and I was just shitting bricks because at any time they could just bust the window and pull me up and take me. So I was just like sitting there, and for some reason I made a fire. And that's what's funny about dreams, is because you start doing the most illogical things. Like, you wouldn't set up a fire during a zombie attack, because then that would...
They're afraid of fire, aren't they?
Well, even if they are, you'd still be getting attention. Attention would still be drawn to you because they would see the light, and I guess, they would associate light with life, and then they would come and try to take it from you.
Not only that, they'd kind of be able to cook their food.
That's funny. I don't think they want mammal steaks. Mammal ribs. Oh, baby back mammal ribs. They're all, my meat's tainted. taint.
Yeah, they'd probably eat your taint too.
My meat's taintless.
They'd all suck it up like a spaghetti noodle.
Oh, God. Urethra and all.
Yeah,
With
it's
it.
the best part.
And then the final dream I remember was I was all these dreams are starting to come out now. Great, now they come out. I'm all having, and then I saw my mommy naked. But sorry, but
Is that a Freudian slip right there?
yeah, that was a Freudian thing. I'm all starting to have these things slip out of my brain now while talking about them. So then this one dream, I was in the tub, and we got the tub is sideways in the bathroom, and in the end of the bathroom, there's a heater, gas heater, and so at night or at winter, when you turn it on at nighttime, you could just see the light from the heater in the bathroom, and it was scary because it was all the way at the end of the hallway when it was really dark, and you would just see this fire growing, And since you grow up Catholic as I did, all you got this like ideas. All you think when you associate fire is hell, Satan, and damnation. And so when I was having this dream, I was dreaming I was taking a bath in the dark. And I could see the fire out of the curtain from the side, and all of a sudden I saw these little shadows jumping out of there. Have you guys ever watched that movie, The Gate?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
The little
that
demon?
was awesome.
Yeah.
movie.
So that's
Those
what.
little clay people who were running out of the shadows. Oh, I love that movie. That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid.
Well, I never seen that movie before this dream,
Oh,
and so these little things just started jumping out of the fire that looked like that. And I've never ever seen that movie before, and it was a whole bunch of them, an army of them, just like marching up and down, and I was all like, "Get out, get out!" And and then they would disappear. But that was scary, I scrambled up and tried to turn the light on, but I was slipping, and the curtains were all falling on me, and I was trapped in the curtains, and it was just like, it was a nightmare.
oh man! While you were talking about that, it reminded
took
me
it.
of a dream that I had out, and it's possibly the first dream I've ever had.
That's
Or
okay.
the first dream I remember. I was like 3 years
Let me
old.
wrap my dream up.
Oh, I thought you were done. Go.
No,
Oh, I thought you were done. Go.
ready?
Ready?
All right,
Go.
the end. Okay, go.
All right. Awesome. But man, y'all fucked up my flow. Anyway, but the first one that I can remember, we lived in a trailer in between my two grandmother's houses. Like my whole family lived on a street. It was like my grandmother on my father's side, my great grandmother on my mother's side, and then we had some neighbors that were family, and then it was our house, or where we moved to later on, where I grew up. But we lived in a trailer in between my two grandmother's houses at first. And first dream I remember is I was playing with a little toy train. This is like 1979, 1980. Just one of those little toy trains on a track, big plastic play school thing. And in the dream, the track was set up against a wall, like half the circle track up against a wall. And the train would go through the wall, come back out the other side, and just continue going circularly. Like in through the wall, back out through the other side of the wall, like in Portal.
Ooh.
But in the dream, the next thing that happens in this dream that I remember is we're in my neighbor's house. The people that are like family, that aren't family, but they were like family. But she had all these weird, like really weird knickknacks and all that crap all over the house. And there were these metal, like, copper forged art things that were shaped like peacocks. Just like
Peacocks.
big brass peacocks that were hung up on the wall. I don't know why, but she had weird shit like that all over the house. But I used to have dreams as a kid of these little things jumping off the wall and start walking around the house and attacking people. And it was just random dreams of these friggin' things. I don't know why they bothered me as a kid. I think it was just so weird and abstract that it just kind of haunted. But
I guess that's one thing that puzzles me about dreams. I mean, there's like so much about being a human that we don't understand, and that's pretty much what this show is pretty much about, is trying to figure out humanity and everything that it comes with. And all of us are pretty much different in all our aspects. We all live in different parts of the United States. You know, maybe we can broaden it one day and have it to where it's a global thing, where we can get the dodgy hedgehog to jump in once in a while and give us his take on being a human. But you know, why is it that when you have a dream that sometimes you dream about the things that are the most impossible things that could ever happen in real life? You know, like those copper things coming to life and running on you. You know, that's not ever really going to happen. But for some reason in a dream, it becomes a reality. And it's better than any HD or 3D TV you're ever going to see. Maybe one day we'll find a way to tap into that. But we were out at Tracy Ridge, and Steve happened to come across some fungus. So we ate it and poisoned.
Among Us.
Yeah, there was fungus among us. So we ate it and poisoned our minds in a good way. And so we were sitting there, and
From
halfway.
anybody's feet, did they?
No, it came from. I get it.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez. But so anyways, so we were sitting there, and they kicked in, and halfway through, every time I'm always on a fungus trip, after halfway they kick through, I gotta go take a dump. And that's one of the worst things that I could ever possibly do when I'm on a fungus trip, is take a dump. Why? Because I feel every single muscle working.
Yeah, I've actually done that.
It's horrible. It's like it's work. It's actual work. You're like
You're sitting there staring at the floor, and the floor is just kind of warping around your feet.
at the same time your stomach's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, geez. So
And at one point, you're really not sure if you're actually shitting or if it's just the drugs.
If the earth is coming out of your ass and like forming beneath you, it's crazy.
that's a whole episode right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to like take a nice healthy dump at the end of a trip. About 9 hours after you drop in, coming down, definitely take a nice healthy shit.
Oh, I hate that you get a nice big blunt all rolled up and you go outside and smoke and you gotta go take a shit. Like right after, either as, I'd prefer it like right before, but sometimes it happens right after, and that's the worst because then you're like wasting.
So after the drugs, when the worst time you've had to take a shit. Jesus, I could tell some stories.
I guess we got topics for the next.
No sweat. Got hit.
Yeah.
The head.
I remember I was running next to you when that happened once. You just took off running sideways into some building.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck by that time. Fuck everybody. My ass is more important.
I have a pooping story too.
Fantastic.
Sweet.
Tell it.
No, we got
right now. No.
Yeah,
we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes left in our little podcast here.
Oh, okay.
So, anybody got any closing statements, words, anything?
I think when we get sponsorship, we have to make a circle hand game billboard along a highway, so we get everybody that drives by, and they look up and they're gonna be like,
a flash game. Or you're solving a puzzle, and then the circle game comes out and it screams.
Oh,
I feel like the website, when you go to our website, it just kind of flashes.
You ever drive by one of those billboards that change as you're driving by it?
Yeah. So,
there you go. It can be
whatever
the hell just some crazy picture to start off with, and as you're driving by it, it's a circle hand. Just at a certain angle. I mean, because you're driving by it and you get right on it, and boom. Gotcha.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And you could just say gotcha at the bottom.
Before we everybody takes off for tonight, if we all got like 10 minutes, we should toss some solid show ideas back and forth.
I'm not tossing your salad.
You can toss some salad all you want.
Some show ideas back and forth.
And thanks
real
for
quick
tuning
so
in
we
into
can-
another Dark Mammal After Dark, into another Mammal After Dark. I was your host.
Take two.
And thanks for being part of Dark Mammal After Dark. I am the Dark Mammal, and say goodbye to the Ether Otter, the Rabbit Wombat, and the Derivative, or
The show
AKA
was called The Dark Mammal After Dark.
Goodbye.
the Dark Mammal After Dark.
Goodbye. I said goodbye.
Keep on dreaming, America, or wherever you're listening to. Little guy in Afghanistan.
Little Indonesian 2-year-old kid smoking.
Mexicans everywhere.
Little grandma in Thailand smoking a doobie. Good
Right.
night.
You know,
You're listening to Mammal After Dark.